Getting Hamoed. Welcome to the weekly Shir of the Zera Shimshon, Zecher Tzadik HaKadosh Bracha, and I know this is Chol Hamoed, and a lot of people are not going to be able to watch this, but this is a very interesting Shir because this Shabbos, Chol Hamoed, we sing Shir Hashirim. Shir Hashirim has a lot of shaykhs to Pesach, but there's a very interesting piece here. I'm going to say part of it because it's very long. And we sing, those who have a custom to sing Shir Hashirim by Leila Seder also. So it has a lot of shaykhs to Pesach. Okay, so the Midrash, it says, this is from the Chamesh Megillos, and because there's no Parsha this week, officially, but the Parshas will begin again next week. So the Midrash Shir Hashirim Rabbah says, interesting pasuk, and the pasuk in Shir Hashirim Aleph base, Yishakeni min shikas piu ki toim dodecha miyayin. Okay, so Omer Rabbi Yehuda, b'shah shamu Yisrael anochi Hashem lekecho. At the time that the Jewish people heard the first of the Aseret Dibros, niska Talmud Torah belibam. Now the word nitka is very interesting. It's with an ayin, nun saf kuf ayin. So literally, it's the same word as tekiah, but it was pounded or blown into the Jewish people, divrei Torah, in their hearts. Very interesting, right? And they were learning and not forgetting. When they came to Moshe, they said, Daber ita ata imano. You speak, you speak for us, and nishma will listen. So, what was the whole theory there? That, and the first of the Aseret Dibros was two, really, and they died and they came back to life. So they said, this is a real serious situation. Let's not do this again. It says, the Gemara says, like kol ita nisrachash nisa. And not every time can we rely on a nace that we're going to be brought back to life. So he said, okay, listen, Moshe, we know you can speak to God. You speak to God. You tell us what He said, and we'll listen. Anyway, now they went back, and because of that, they went back to being learning and forgetting. Okay, now nira mikan she'ashircha ba mishum daber ata imano. So it looks like the forgetfulness comes from the fact that they gave over the main part of listening to Moshe Rabbeinu. It's a contradiction to what we see in the fifth parak of Eruvin Daf Nun Dalet Amud Aleph. The Omer Rabbi Elazar lemoli lo nishtavu luchais harishonos. If Rabbi Elazar said, if it hadn't been for the first luchais that have been broken, lo nishtakcha Torah miYisrael, the Torah would not have been forgotten from the Jewish people. The hakaydim shir saluchais nami kvar ba shicha mishum daber ata imana. Look, we just said that before there was much later that before they broke the luchais, they already said to Moshe, "You speak and we'll listen." So that's why they forgot. All right, nearer the taretz, the isa laham beha, the isa laho. So we'll say that maybe it's partially this and partially that. Shekasav Aseres HaMa'amaris. Aseres HaMa'amaris is one of the great Gedolim, and he writes, I think there's 10 chalakim in his book. It's a chalak base. He makes Maimar Chikar Din Perak Yud Zayin Yud Vav. Omru Yisrael Moshe Daber Ato Imanu V'Nishma. He says that when he said, "You speak for us and we'll listen," as Kedei Shelo Yishkachuhu Nitna HaTorah Likasev Ala Luchos HaEvan Lahaser Leiv HaEvan. Because of that, the Torah was permitted to be written on a Evan. It wasn't exactly. It was very precious stone, it was written on precious stones to remove from the heart of stone that the person has. Okay? In Cain, Hashicha so it looks like, okay, then that forgetfulness came to the world because Moshe, they said to Moshe, you speak for us and we'll listen for the rest of the testifies. But a fixing for that, an amendment for that, came through writing on the luchos. So after Moshe broke the luchos, now they're back to the problem with forgetting. Okay. And the parsha says in Veschanan, and I will give you to the luchos ha'evan. Okay. Since forgetfulness came into the world, then they had to increase the Torah like this. Like it says in the Midrash in Shmais Rabbah, and the pasuk va'era v'hine chatosam la'Hashem Elokeichem. It's a pasuk in V'Devarim. Hischil Moshe mitzta'er al sheshiber saluchis. Moshe was now regretting that he broke the luchos. Omar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, al titzta'er. No, don't be aggravated. It's okay. Shabbirishaynos lo hayu elo asaras adibros. In the first luchos, there was only 10 commandments. V'abashniyos, and the second luchos, ani noisem mikra o mishnah ad kan. So luchos, there was more given in the second luchos, including the mikra, which is the whole Torah, and the mishnah and everything else. They were given, it still is a mystery to me exactly what they were given and how they were given it. It's not so pashut, because in Morah they were also given some halachas, like the Hilchas Shabbos and other things they were given at Morah. But not all at once. So what were they studying then? Okay, so the matter is in the tablets were written or hinted to all the prophets and the ksuvim and the writings and the Mishnah and the Gemara. Everything was hinted to. And the Torah is written in the heart of each and every person. That's what it says in Yirmiyahu, Aleph, Lamed Beis. Nasati Toirasi Bikirbam, Alibam Echtavena. I gave the Torah on your hearts and in your I gave the Torah in your midst and in your hearts I will write it. So they didn't need to learn, quote unquote, and to try to remember, because all the Torah was given in there, like Avram Avinu had it, that he had his two kidneys became like two rabbanim that taught him. And it was sprouting forth wisdom at all times. It was sufficed for them the 5 books of Moses, Kedei Leida Hadinim v'Hamitzos. V'lo hayu mistakchim. They weren't forgetting. V'lo hayu mivinim kol haramazim shebaluchos. Aval. And they would know all the hints in the Torah. But after they sinned with the Chet HaEgel, then it was hidden from them these wells of wisdom. And furthermore, the luchos were broken, that they were the source of all the, that was the source of forgetfulness. Because of that, Lam Dilma lo yigala oed HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael ba kol al ta'alumos hachachma shayu b'luchos rishayos. And then he was afraid that God wouldn't reveal to him all the secrets of the Torah anymore. That we're on the first luchos. Ve'af im yigala lahem, and even if he would reveal to them, Dilma chas v'sham tia mishtakachas mehem, then, well, it'll be revealed, but they'll forget it quickly. Since forgetfulness came into the world. Don't be aggravated. I will give you the writings and all the Torah writings, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, and all the Mishnahs. Mishnah means Mishnah and Gemara. All the Torah that was hinted in the first luchos. But, and even if it will be forgotten, they can go back and learn it again. That's how they can fulfill it. Keep it in their hands. Well, they won't be have loss unless after they exert themselves. They have to go back and learn it again and again and again. And even on all this effort they put in, they're going to receive reward. And they can receive reward. It comes out that we learn comes out that the main understanding of forgetfulness of the Torah would come from that they said to Moshe, you speak to God and we'll listen. And that was at the day of the giving of the Torah, which is Atzeres, which is Sruas. So that's why, since it was forgetfulness was increased, or because of the forgetfulness, it was necessary for them to get the Torah, the Nevi'im, the Ksuvim, and to add to them the Mishnah also. Zera Kavanas Rav Yosef, and that's the Kavanah of Rav Yosef in Perek Vav and Pesachim Daf Samaches. It says there, Omer Rabbi Elazar, Hakol Maidim Be'atzeres She'ba'inin Lishma, Nami Lachem. Said that everybody agrees, Amachalek Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yeshua, that he says that everybody agrees that on Atzeres, which is Sruas, that you need to have lachem. Lachem, you have to enjoy that holiday of all, to have personal pleasures on that holiday. My time yom shenitna b'Torah, because that was the day the Torah was given. Sruas, right? Rav Yosef b'yom da'atzarta of the igla tilsa. Rav Yosef, who was blind, by the way, right? He lost his Torah learning. He became sick and lost his Torah learning, and he made a special party for the Rabbanim and made a egla tilsa. There's a couple of pirushim what it means, but a good fatty cow. Omar, he said, if it wouldn't be for this day, which is Atzeres, giving of the Torah, the Kalgorim, they caused me to give the Torah, Kama Yosevika B'Shukah. So how many Yosefs there are in the Shuk? In other words, anybody could be the Joe, But for the Torah that I acquired, that is because of the day of Atzeres, of Shuas. And it's brought in the Midrash Tanchuma, Shelefi Haluchos Arishonos Nitnu Bepumbi or Befarhesia. The first luchos were given publicly, in a lot of pomp and circumstance. Vahi b'yom hashlishi b'yais habayker vahi kailos or brakim, etc. The whole world knew this was happening. They were given with, it was lightning and thunder and voices, and the angels came. It was a lot of rash. Mishum hachi shalta b'hem ayin hara, and because of that, there was ayin hara, and therefore the nishtabru, the luchos got broken. Masha'enkin luchos achrena shenitna betzina be'ester. The second luchos were given privately, quietly. The second luchos, therefore, you couldn't. It wasn't ein hora on those. Perak Tisha the brachos, and the ninth parak of brachos in Daf Samach Daled says, "Amrin in the Rav Yosef was called Sinai." He was on the Madrega. There was two great gedolim in that generation, Rabba with a Hey, and Rabbi Yosef, and they made a decision who's going to become the Rosh Hashiva, and they chose Rabbi Yosef, but Rabba he declined because there was a gezerah on him that he would die 2 years after he became Rosh Hashiva. So Rabba took over for 20 years. So Rabbi Yosef lived an extra 20 years because of that, plus the 2 years that he lived 22 years. It'll be 20. The extra 2 years he was Rosh Hashiva after Rabba died. And Rashi says, "Shahayabaki b'mishnayis abraises harbe k'nisinasam harsina." He was Baki. All the mishnayis, he know everything about pair. All the mishnayis and the braises, like they were given at Har Sinai. Lachein b'yom de'atzarta avdin le'agla tilso rimais Torah neviim ksuvim. So therefore, he made a special party with this special calf to hint to the Torah and the neviim ksuvim shnitvasru be'luchos achrenes im Mishnah. They were added on to the second luchos with the Mishnah. If it wouldn't be this day when it's second given over the Torah, then that caused me that they said, that the Jewish people said to Moshe, "You speak to us and we'll listen." That was because it was given publicly. So what is the difference between Rav Yosef and other Chachamim? So now, since because there was a forgetfulness in the world, so they knew but his power and his greatness would be from the ultimate memorization that he did. If there wouldn't have been given the Mishnah and there wouldn't have been forgetting in the world, his greatness wouldn't have been recognized. Everybody would have been in the same madrega. They would have remembered everything. Therefore, Dafka Rav Yosef, he was in that madrega. So anyway, that's a partial perspective, and Mitz Hashem, by Shavuos, I'll do the rest of it. Okay. Have a wonderful Chol Hamoed, Moadim L'Simcha, Chagim Uzmanim L'Sasim.